Yes. Yes. Okay. So in the last session, we talked about very basic about the databases. Okay. Now in this session, we'll take a step little forward and then we'll move toward the SQL. Okay. Now before moving to the next topic, let's just check what we have learned. So I think last session we learned about what is database, what are the relational database or a SQL database, and at what point we should use what. Okay, so for that a quiz is there, a very small quiz. So the question which I think you must be able to see on my screen, that is, I am making a website for maintaining the information about the grocery shop. Okay, which database could be useful? So tell me whether it is a relational database or whether it is a NoSQL database. I'm not sure, guys. Today we have a problem with our setup, so probably Saurabh will not be able to be in the call, but I think he would be on the phone. So what could be the answer? Just put down your answer in the chat, and I'm just watching all your chat through my phone, so that is fine. I can still see you guys. So 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 what is the answer? Just put down and then I'll quickly tell you what is the exact answer for this. I think this is pretty easy question in itself, and the answer for this, as many people are saying, the answer is nothing but a relational database. So I'll tell you the reason. The reason is very simple. The reason is, we know that relational database is what? Relational database is something which stores the data in terms of rows and column format. Okay, and here we mostly have a fixed schema, right? Or we know that there will be a number of rows and number of columns, we know that, and we have a simple plain text kind of information, so it makes sense to use the relational. NoSQL DB is generally used when you have a very huge data. Okay, either you have a very huge data or else you have some data which needs other format, like you need a JSON format data, or you need a CSV, or you need the document kind of. Okay, so that could be the problem here. So here I think the best use case which represent here is the relational database only. So the answer is relational database. Let's quickly move to the next question, which again retest what we have learned in the last session. Okay, so what does it mean by fixed schema? So when I say the relational database is something which is having a fixed schema, so what does it mean by having the fixed schema? So here are the options. Just think and answer quickly, and then I'll see so put down your answer, guys. It's first, second, A, B, C, D, which should be the answer. Okay.
Hi everyone,
so what is the answer? I think a lot of people is saying this option 3. Someone is saying D. I can see that Aman is saying C. Karan, Jagdish, Makhan, Bipin, RK, Farain, Bhaskar, all of is mentioning that the answer is C. Even Rameshwar, welcome Rameshwar. I know you are a part of the Mission 100 program. Good to see you here. Rahul is, so I think most of you is agree on that the fixed schema is this. So great, guys. So this is the right answer. That fixed schema, whenever we say that we have a fixed schema, it means that you need to have the same number of rows, same number of column for every, same number of columns and same data type for a column in every row. So basically fixed schema or schema for any table is nothing but you're trying to create the template. So you're trying to create a one format where you say that every row will have a name, every row will have a salary, every row will have a column for some email ID like that, and you define the data type as well. So that's the basic thing about any database. Okay, so that is what basically the important thing about the relational database. Okay, so I think our understanding from the previous session is good. Guys, still if you have any feedback about like should we slow down the speed, should we increase the speed, so please keep on sharing that and your feedback, so that we can adjust our sessions accordingly. The whole intent of this session is to make you learn. Okay, so in whatever way it helps you, and we are ready to adjust it. Okay, so be open for that. Okay, I think Akash is saying voice is low. Akash, I trying to be a little more louder. I think my mic is good, so I think maybe if my voice is still coming low, it is the me who is the problem, not the setup. So I'll try to be a little more louder. Okay, so I think everyone is okay with the speed. So now we talked about what is database, why you need database, what could be the different types of a database. All this is good for theory, but probably not good for practical, right? So all of you now probably is more interested that we should go ahead with the practical part. So before moving the practical part, we are now quickly going to the business. That the business is nothing but the SQL. So what is this SQL? So basically, you all have heard about whenever somebody talks about database, they generally it's talking about SQL. And this SQL is common where people are working in MySQL, people works for SQL Server, people works for Oracle, whatever database software you work for, or maybe DB2, Postgres, whatever you call it, this database, this SQL is common. So what the hell is this SQL is? So first of all, SQL is full form is structured query language. So structured query language. Okay, now what is this? So commonly, I mean, whenever any communication happens between any two parties, for example, I am speaking and you all are listening. So whenever this kind of a communication happens, it needs some medium, it needs some common language where I say something and you understand it, right? For example, now I am talking in plain English, right? So you are able to understand because you also know English, I also know English, right? Similarly, when you have to talk to the database, okay, when your program, when your code, or when you do on your own and you want to talk to the database, okay, so when somebody has to talk to the database, then database understand only the language which we call as SQL. Okay, so if you have to make a communication with the database, the language is an SQL. Although all the communication behind the scene happens in terms of a binary. Okay, internally everything is a binary, that is nothing but a 1-0 form, right? Because it's a computer, right? End of the day, computer does not understand human language, it understand binary 1 and 0. Whatever we say eventually will get converted into the machine level code, then get into the binary code, and will get to the processor, and then processor will understand and then response, right? But you know that if we write some code in a machine level language or in a binary language, this will be very, very tough to write. So as a human being, what we want something which is like a in the coding world it is called as high level language. Okay, high level language. So this is nothing but a basically